Good morning, Queen.
Good morning, Queen. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday.
Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Shabazz.
Good morning, Aziz.
Yep, here we go, right here. Yeah, we were just cutting up a couple minutes ago, everybody. We was over here singing the sister theme song. If y'all peep, the teacher's cup this morning. Yes, now I gotta give me one. Yeah, go on Amazon, trying to find me a sister mug so we can match.
Hey, shout out to my baby sis, Jerica. She always
Yeah,
gives me the cutest, sweetest gifts.
I love it. Yeah, those who don't know, Jericho was also an expert guest on Tips and Tea. What was it, a couple months ago?
Yes, she was. She sure was.
Yeah, tell her she about due for another go round.
You know she will definitely come on. She would love to just be on here with us.
Yes, I love having her on. Yeah, she gotta get us ready for the end of the year. We about to
Yes.
do the end of the year closeout, so it'd be good to have her come on and talk about, just getting ready for the new year and putting your goals in place, self care. We were talking about that. I know the last time she was on, and just how to get your mind right.
Oh, definitely, definitely. She's already always here to help. Shout out to Restored Wellness, her practice. Any advice she
Mhm.
can give, she is always willing to help.
Yes, yes, she be booked and busy, everybody. So if you
That
all need
part.
some help, so teacher inbox you her contact information so you can definitely reach out to her and she can help guide you through the next phases of your life. Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Come on in. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Let's say give it 2 more minutes because then we got to go. We got things to do. C be booked and busy. I be trying to keep up with the teacher.
Queen, no, I'm trying to get like you. Chantel
No,
be
you ain't
booked
have
and
to make that
busy.
face.
Hey, listen, we both booked and busy. Blessed. Thank God. Thank God.
Yes, we are. Good morning, Kier. Thank you for the prayers this morning, Queen.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, your goodness, the prayer that she does. I think you do it every Tuesday morning, right, Kier? That's your designated day. So we have a Queens in prayer where every day, Monday through Sunday, the Queens take turn and they pray over the group. They do prayer requests. We do praise reports and just so much more, just a listening ear for those who just need to be able to release and just talk about what's going on in their lives. So just shout out to the Queens in prayer and everything that they're doing for each and every one of us. Kiera prayed over our daughter this morning. She's on a flight. So definitely appreciate you, Miss Young.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Good morning. Good morning. Why is this acting up? All right. Let's see. Anybody
You want
else
to go
coming
ahead
in?
and we got a couple of viewers. You want to give it a few more minutes, or you want to go ahead and get it kicked off?
No, I think we should go ahead and get it kicked off. They can watch the replay.
Hey, that part. They can definitely come back and watch the replay. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so, so much for tuning in for another morning edition of Tips and Tea Tuesday. I'm Satitra Booker, and I'm so glad you're here. Last week, we talked about buy now and pay lit. Excuse me, buy now and pay later. And does it
Mhm.
really help? So today, we're going to dive a little deeper into the buy now, pay later with renting to own and how it can help or hurt. And as always, I'm here with my lovely co-host, Miss Chantella Shabazz.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning,
Happy
Queen.
Tuesday, everybody. And exactly what Miss C said, it's not just about earning your credit, it's about using it smartly, right? Let's find out if rent to own homes can work or if they're basically a risky trap, So we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive today. We're hoping in this month of September, we can also get some experts on that can come on and do a deeper dive into it for you as well. So we're reaching out to a couple real estate lawyers to see if they can come on and answer any questions that you might have. So we just wanted to give a breakdown of what it is today, and then hopefully later this month we can get some of our experts to come in and talk more about it, right? Just to be able to share because we don't gatekeep over
No,
here.
no, we definitely don't. And this was a special request from our audience last week. They wanted us to take a deeper dive. So, for all our audience, drop a little house emoji in the chat if you've ever wondered if rent to own was the way to go as far as getting a home.
I'll drop a house emoji in the chat because I thought about it honestly a while back.
Yes,
We were
definitely.
first starting out and we were renting an apartment, and it came up, as an option to basically kind of get started, especially when I had no credit. So I couldn't qualify for a loan. I was just
That
really
part.
getting started working and had a young family, so didn't really know what my options were yet, basically. I said,
Yeah.
I can't find a house in my emoji chat. I had to search for one.
You got to search for it.
I got to, I got to search for a house. Isn't
Yeah.
that the truth? Yeah,
Well,
search
I
for a
see.
house, whether it's on your emoji chat or in real life.
Yes, you gotta search, gotta search. But hey, I see them
Yes.
rolling in.
Yeah,
But let's
yes.
just, get into it. So, what exactly does rent to own mean? It means that you are renting a home now, but have the right or the obligation to buy it later. And there are two different types. So, you have the lease option, which is kind of a flexible option. You can buy, or you do have the option to walk away if you want to change your mind. And then we have a lease purchase, which is binding, not kind of, it is binding. So you have to buy later, and it is locked in at a set price. So some of the key facts that you want to, take into consideration when using this option is you pay an option fee up front, which is usually typically about 1 to 7% of the home price. And that money may count toward buying later. Rent is often higher, and part of it may be a rent credit that's going toward the down payment. So you definitely want to keep those things in mind when looking at the rent to own option when buying a home.
Hmm. Yeah, just make sure your deal says how much of your rent is going towards buying and how much, just knowing how much, you know, the option fee is as well too, and what it actually covers, because a lot of times that kind of be vague
Hmm.
and you might not know all the particular details of all the different miscellaneous maintenance fees that you might be responsible for. So We talked a little bit about it last week about making sure you know exactly who's responsible for what too, when you come into those rent to own programs. But definitely, that's my tip for today: making sure that if you want to look into something like that as an option for yourself, mm, look into all the fees, right? It's a good idea to talk to a real estate attorney on this one. You might have to pay that fee so they can look over that contract for you to make sure that you're not getting in over your head or you're not paying any extra fees for no reason.
Yes, ma'am. And you always want to make sure you talk to a real estate lawyer and make sure you're getting the home inspected, because that's going to help to protect yourself and make sure that you're not getting into a contract where you're expecting one thing and you're actually getting another. So you just want to make sure that you are protecting yourself against any type of scam or any type of hidden detail that you know that you may not be aware of. So do your due
Mhm.
diligence, people. Check, get that inspection.
That's smart. Definitely getting an inspection because, you're buying this house, even though you're technically renting right now. But any problems that arise with this house, eventually you're going to become the homeowner of it. So you will be responsible for these major maintenance fees. Like if there's a crack in the foundation, that's definitely something that you want to know. How much more time do you have on the roof, right? How
Yes.
much longer do you have on the roof? Sometimes with a roof, you can do layers of shingles, right? You can layer up to like I think 3 or 4 times, depending on the materials that's being used. Or is it time for a complete strip off,
Mm,
for the roof where you got to start completely over, which is going to cost you a lot more money than laying an extra sheet of shingles over the top of the existing roof. So these are things you kind of want to know, and the inspector is going to help you figure these things out. Is the electrical up to date?
right.
Is
The
there
pipe.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely these things take into consideration. Because again, we don't want you wasting any money, right? You're paying into a rent own program, which means you're paying more than market value for this rent because that extra is going towards the purchase of the home. But if you just change your mind, decide this is just too much.
Mm,
I'm looking at what these future maintenance fees are going to be, how the taxes trending, right? Are the taxes continue to go up by thousands each year? Is that something you're gonna be able to afford? And then you decide that you no longer want the house. You're out of all that extra money you've been paying out. So
yeah.
definitely, yeah, you want to look into all this.
So Chantella, when do you think rent to own actually makes sense for someone?
Well, I think it makes sense if you just need more time, right? You're not
Mhm.
quite ready to purchase yet. You're trying to save or you're working on fixing your credit,
Right.
but you're already in the home. Maybe the homeowner is selling the house and you fell in love with it. This is the house that you want. Your kids are loving their school that they're in. That's something to kind of really consider, right? If you've already been living there, you enjoy the neighborhood, the kids love the school, your family is really thriving there, but you're just not quite there yet with credit where you can buy the house outright. I would definitely say, that's a time where maybe you consider doing the rent to own program.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, which that definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
So, see, from what you've seen, what are some of the biggest risks with the rent to own program? I know we were doing a deep dive in the research.
Yes, I mean, there definitely are some risks. I mean, you may lose the option fee and the rent credits that you've built up if you can't buy.
Mhm.
So that's something you definitely want to take into consideration, because who can afford to lose money? I know I sure can. And then, you may run into a situation where the value of the home possibly could drop and you're
Yeah.
stuck with that agreed price. And even though the drop hit, you still locked into that contract and you still have to pay that certain amount. So, I mean, it does have its pros and its cons, like every situation. So, I would just suggest anyone looking at this option, just, definitely weigh your pros and your cons, because There's some big ones with this. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a good thing to kind of think of when you're thinking about like the lease option is good if you need time to prepare, right? But what you need to watch
Mhm.
out for is if you you can't really you can lose the fees if you walk away, right? So that's one thing to consider. If for the lease purchase, the good is if you want to buy it, right? You for sure you want to buy this house. You're not trying to go anywhere else. That's good if you're trying to do the lease purchase option. But what you want to watch out for is if you're locked in and you may end up overpaying, right?
Mm,
You want to look at the overall value, not only just the house, but the other houses around you.
right.
Is home values around you going down, right? Are you paying too much for this house? And then another deal type is when you look at the save and you buy later. So good is if you want to control it and you want to list, you want less risk basically. But the thing you kind of want to watch out for when it comes to save and buy later is it takes longer and there's no test drive, right? So you locked in.
That
You
part, no
locked in.
test drive.
Ain't no test drive. You locked in. They say you go to bed.
Ooh.
What they say you go together real bad.
Yes, we go together real bad. We stuck like Chuck, okay?
Absolutely. So when it comes to that, there's actually a couple different routes that you can go when it comes to the different rent to own programs. So there's government backed ones, and then there's
Mm,
privatized companies that also do the rent to own programs. From what I saw, there's Divvy. Now, again, I'm not an expert in this, but this is just from me doing research and kind of looking into different things. But Divvy Homes, it basically works as you buy the home you want, and it lets you rent it. So they buy the house for you and they rent it back to you, right?
mm,
But part of your monthly payments helps you build equity in the house. And then you can buy the home later. So, like if your credit improves, right, over that time where you're renting to own from them, then you
mhm.
can go ahead and get financing and then buy the house outright from them. So you don't have to continue making those extra payments, which is pretty cool, right? So you can still be
Yes.
working on your credit as you're going through this rent to own program. But you can also walk away. So Divvy keeps a small part of the equity that you leave behind. So this is good for those who's rebuilding their credit. They need time to prepare for a mortgage. They do require, though, still a minimum credit score of at least a 560, right? In some cases, a 550. Now, and then you do have to have some savings, right? You can't go in there, you ain't got no money in the bank. Your debt to income is super high. They don't want you to have any recent evictions because that's showing your payment history, right? If you can't
Mm,
keep up with paying for your apartment, how you gonna keep up with paying for them for this rent to own home, right? So
right.
these are things you still have to kind of clean up. Maybe you're just a person who doesn't have a whole lot of credit, right? You have no credit history, or you had, or you just came upon a life situation and have a couple late payments or charge offs. As long as your housing market report is clean, you can still kind of work with Divvy, right? There's also Landis, which buys a home that you like and it leases it to you. You get a coach who helps improve your credit along the way and help you save for a down payment. So they actually have somewhere there with you, walking you through the program, telling you step by step what you need to do to help get your credit back right and what you need to do each month to help save for that down payment. And then when you're ready to buy the house, you know, is there for you. So it's good for renters wanting guidance and coaching towards home ownership. They do require that you put down a deposit, right? At least 2 to 3% of what the overall cost of the house is. They're gonna do a deep dive into your credit and your income, right? So they're gonna do a review. They're gonna do a hard pull. But it does work across a couple different states. So I definitely know it works in Florida for sure. That came up when I was doing some research on it. And then there's Home Partners of America too, which you can lease the home through them, buy it later.
Mhm.
They typically want you to do it within 1 to 5 years, though. So if it's taking you more than 5 years to fix the credit, are you really working on your credit? Because it shouldn't take that long, right? So it does help you with building equity during that lease period. And it's good for those who are renting and still want the option to buy later, but they lock in your price, right? So the good thing is like your price is not increasing as the years go on. So some of them programs you have to watch out for because sometimes they'll base it off what the market is for the house when it comes to you doing the final purchase. So like I'll give you an example. For me, I bought my house. Say I bought my house back in 2018 when it was first listed for like under 230,000. But in today's market, it's worth 100K more, right? So even when you start the rent to own program, it might start at 230,000, but some of
Mhm.
those rent to own programs is not going to charge you the 230. They're going to charge you the 330 what it is today in today's market. So
Mm.
you just kind of got to watch that and see what kind of terms they have in that contract. Again, a real estate attorney can definitely negotiate that contract for you. Just because it's written in that contract does not mean it cannot be negotiated, right? So these are some things you kind of just want to look out for. I did want to kind of make people weary of the different rent to own programs. Just do your research. You know, there are some good ones out there, but there are some that have a couple of just negative reviews. Like we were looking at a few the other day. I'm going to share my screen here a little bit. So we pulled up Divvy, and some of the reviews on here, it was letting you know, like the one person was saying, if I can give it 0 stars, I would. We never paid late, always stayed in communication, and yet when we had a maintenance request, we were told it wasn't covered or was sent out a company, and they still were having issues. They did like a terrible job on fixing things, right?
Mm.
So Divvy technically takes care of the maintenance while you're in the rent to own program, but still they were having issues with who they were doing it through. Someone else said it was a scam, you know. They had broken real estate, several real estate laws. They owe myself and several others lots of money. I have been speaking with one of the Georgia senators and have begun pursuing this legally. They suggested everyone else do the same. So basically, they acquired by Maymont Homes, which is a smaller company, back in January of 2025. And they're saying that it was just issues after they were acquired in their state. So it might work differently from state to state. It just depends, right? Sorry, my dog be acting up. But again, like we say, do your research. Do your research, everybody. All right. See, can you still hear me?
Yes, Queen, I can hear you. I'm sorry. I was hitting mute. Quincy got a little excited because he heard Simba.
Oh, so they both was acting up. Simba
Yeah.
kicked it off this morning. I promise you. He was like, I'm gonna make an appearance. And you know what happened? He hid under something, so I couldn't grab him to kick
Oh,
him
you
out this
know, that's what
morning.
they do, honey.
Yeah.
They run
And
and
did
take
the little
off like
back up.
some.
Started backing up when I tried to come for him. He's like, I ain't getting out. I'm not getting out.
Yes, honey. Well, y'all, everybody drop some gems in the chat for Chantella for that information, all that information, and then showing the reviews. But she told you some information about some different programs. And before we close, we definitely wanted to get into some information about some government backed programs that do help families get into homes or move toward home ownership. So we do have Section 8 housing choice voucher, which is a home ownership program, and this program allows eligible Section 8 renters to use their housing vouchers to help pay for mortgage instead of rent. So that is something. It often requires at least 1 year in the program, financial
Mhm.
home ownership training, credit counseling, and the mortgage pre-approval. It supports both lease option style transitions and direct mortgage assistance. And then there's another option, which is the self help ownership, or excuse me, home ownership opportunity program. And it is administered by HUD. And this program supports families in building their own homes and affordable
Mhm.
ownership options. Families do contribute sweat equity on these homes and in construction and receive low cost housing and direct rent to own style method. There's also the USDA Section 8 502 home ownership loan, which offers two types of low income loans in rural areas. There's a direct Section 502 loan, which may require no down payment, long terms up to 38 years with interest assistance. And then there is guaranteed Section 8 502 loans, which is backed by USDA, but delivered through approved lenders, which is often with 100% financing. And additional programs, we have Home Investment Partnerships Program, the HOME. And then we, on a state level, there are affordable home ownership programs. For example, the Texas State Affordable Housing Cooperation provides fixed rate loans, mortgage credits, and certificates and down payment aid. So just keep those in mind. And let's see here in New York, there's, if I'm saying this right, so I'm just going to say the acronym SONYMA, which offers low cost mortgages and assistance through its home ownership programs. So if you're on Section 8 or you're a Section 8 voucher holder, you know what I mean? You can definitely reach out to your housing agency and ask about these different options that they do have. Don't be scared to ask. If you're ready to work, shop programs through Habitat or other nonprofits, they are definitely out there and they do give you a real chance at home ownership.
Absolutely. Thanks, C. You're dropping some gems. I didn't know about all these different programs that were backed by the government. I knew about Section 8, right? Because I did hear about that one where, you can be working on getting your credit together. They even have like some job search programs through Section 8 as well, too, where they can help you find a job that's going to pay you more income. So, depending on what your housing goal is, it's going to help you work
Mhm.
towards that. So there's a lot of programs out there that's really trying to help a lot more people and families become homeowners, right?
Yeah.
Because the key, we want to own property, we want to own real estate, we want to have an asset to pass down to our kids. So that's definitely great, see. And if you are someone who is working on your credit or just don't know where to start, we do have some credit programs that's going to help you with your journey. I'm actually going to share my screen again and bring up one of the programs that we do work with. We have Nove. We not only help with disputing things on credit, but I think sometimes we forget about the whole credit monitoring process and what
Mhm.
other tools that we need in order to put our credit back on track. So I just wanted to bring this up for everyone because we talk about it sometimes, but we don't really do a deep dive into showing you what the credit monitoring software does and how the money manager can also help you with tracking your utilization, paying down debt, and things like that. So through Nove, we have My Nove Credit, which tracks it, builds it, and boosts it as well. It's going to give you the score tracker, which is now easier than ever to track all your scores across all three bureaus. And it's going to, show you an in-depth chart of how your score is tracking over time. We have the score builder. You're going to see exactly what is helping or hurting your credit scores. And basically, it's going to give you a 120-day plan to get you to a better score. And the booster is going to help you master your credit score, right? It's going to help you with utilizing the software to apply for credit, make payments, and help you with spending your money the right way, right? So the score tracker, you get to see all the different types of scores and see how you're progressing. You get an in-depth look at the different types of scores you have and see where you stand. And it's going to see how your scores change over time to give you a better understanding of what habits you have, right?
Mhm.
Right. Sometimes some of the habits are good, but some of them are bad. So it's going to help you see which
Right.
one are the bad habits so you can start to cut those out as well too. Right. And what the score builder is coming up with that unique plan for you over that 120-day period, right? Because it takes time. Each payment cycle can go from 30 to 45 days, right? These are things that are not going to get built overnight, but if you give it a little time, it's definitely going to get you to the goal that you need in order to buy that house, right? So you want to make sure that you're tracking any negative accounts that's weighing down your scores, and it's going to take action to take care of those negative accounts. Right. And then the booster is going to make recommendations on different accounts that you can add to boost your scores. Right. It's tracking your spending, it's helping you keep track of your payments, and it's offering you monitoring to make sure that you're not missing anything. Right. So these are some really great tools that you can utilize in order to help you. And the money manager itself, where you can find it's going to find all your accounts online. It's going to make it easier for you to add to your Nove Money Manager. So there's no guessing, there's no searching. You don't have to go in and check out your Discover credit card or look at this bank statement over here. All you have to do is link the accounts that doesn't automatically get pulled, and it'll automatically set that up for you. So you'll receive alerts when your payments are due. It'll easy to make your budget plan as well. And the transactions are integrated with the Nove credit report, so you get the overall complete picture of everything that's coming out of your accounts all at the same time. Right. And then on top of that, we also give you the privacy and insurance, right? The $1 million in fraud insurance protection. So some really great features that we have here at Nove. If you need some help with getting your credit together, definitely feel free to reach out to myself, Shantella Shabazz, or Mr. Teacher Booker, or anyone from our heavy hitter team, our Nove team as well. We can all help you with getting yourself back on track. So you may not have to rent to own. You'll be able to get your credit together. You can go right into purchasing a home.
Yes.
Anything you want to add to that, Satitra?
I think you just covered it all, Queen. I'll just say that any tool that you need, we have it in our arsenal. So we definitely have them for you. We have options for you. If you want a credit build, restore your credit, we definitely have the options available for you.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. So definitely for myself, I would say I've used the software before. I've seen it work. My clients used it. We haven't had any issues if you stay with it, right? Because we do say in
Oh,
most cases, on average, credit repair takes about 3 to 4 months, right?
it does
That's
take
just the
some time.
average,
Yes,
right?
and I can definitely say it does work. I've had over 29 items deleted. So I've definitely seen it work. So it works. It works. I'm a product of the product.
Yeah, I will say sometimes people we delay our progress on things because we jump from thing to thing too quickly, right?
Yes.
We give it
No.
like a couple months and we don't see any progress right away. So then we be like, this is not working. I'm gonna go try this over here. But you were
Mhm.
right there. You were right at the cusp, and then you left, and now you gotta start all the way over again because you
Yes.
decided to leave too early. So sometimes you just gotta be patient, right? And you gotta be patient and then keep working towards it. And eventually you're gonna see the progress. Eventually you're gonna reach your goal, but you gotta stay with it, right? And trust the process. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll know, right, if it seems scammy, if it seems a little fishy, right, you'll kind of know, right? You'll get the sense
Yes.
of this is definitely not working, but credit takes time. Getting those things off of credit takes time. Rebuilding takes time. It's not going to happen overnight unless you're doing some kind of shady, scammy things yourself, right?
Yes. And we have to
Which
realize things that happen quickly, we don't appreciate. Things that you have to work for and that you have to put your time, effort, and energy into, those are things you appreciate and those are things you're going to take care of. So give it some time. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to realize your credit score didn't plummet overnight and it's not going to shoot up overnight either. Give it some time and you want to be built on a solid foundation. So you don't want anything that's going to shoot up and skyrocket right back down. You want to make sure that you are handling everything appropriately, layer after layer after layer. So that way, when you get to the quote unquote 750 club, then you can stay there. You want to be able to use your knowledge, what you've learned, and practice good practices, keep your utilization low. So that way you can stay there. You don't want to get there and hit rock bottom again.
that's true. That's true. Exactly. Thanks,
Good.
C, for dropping gems.
Oh, no problem, Queen. No problem.
And so we talked about rent on for those who are just jumping in. You get a chance, definitely go back and watch some of the replays that we have here. We dropped some tips on different private companies that offer the rent to own programs and how they'll purchase the house for you. And then you're basically leasing the house from them until you're able to get your credit together enough, or you can then purchase the home yourself, right? So there's a few different companies out there that do that. There are also some government backed options that you can look into. C mentioned the Section 8 program. If you're already enrolled in Section 8, that's something that you can check with them and see what type of options that you have through them. There's a SHOP program. There's also the USDA Section 502 home ownership loan, and just so much more, right? So you get
Habitat
a
for
chance, if
Humanity.
you missed those tips from earlier, feel free to go ahead and just check it out once again. But rent to own can work for some, but only if you know exactly what you are signing. So
Yeah.
making sure you read that contract from front, back, up, down, left, right? And if you are unable to understand certain things within the contract, definitely contact a real estate attorney that can help you, right? And just because it's in that original contract does not mean, again, that it cannot be negotiated, right? So your attorney might be able to add in some better clauses in there for you that lean more towards your benefit versus that company's benefit, right? So just make sure you
Yeah.
read all the fine print, protect your investment, and make a clear decision. Don't rush into it, right? This is a lifelong journey that you're on.
Yes. Take the time, read the contract, hire the attorney, do your due diligence. Don't think you can do it on your own.
Yeah, sometimes there's certain things that's worth the investment, right? It's
Yes.
worth investing in. And this is one of those things because this is not like $1,000, $2,000 purchase. You're talking about hundreds of thousands, 200,000, 300,000, and more. So it's worth a couple thousand that you might spend on an attorney that's going to save you over 300,000 later on down the line. Right? You just got to think about it in a different perspective. But we got an affirmation for you. I actually remembered this week. See,
You remember? Yeah.
I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better at this.
Yes, we have an affirmation. We have it. We have it. You gonna say it, Queen? You want me to say it?
You always so good at the affirmations. Like when you talk, I just feel like the calmness wash over me.
I'll stop it. Stop it. All right, everybody. So the affirmation for this Tuesday: I protect my path to ownership wisely and securely. One more time. I protect my path to ownership wisely and securely.
I protect my path to ownership wisely and securely. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Wisely
yes.
and securely. We're going to secure the bag. We're going to hold it tight.
All right. Before we get out of here, I'm
Yes.
just gonna check the chat to see if we have any questions. I don't
Let's
see
check.
any.
See. Let me check the phone here now.
All right. If you have any questions, it's your last chance. The see
Ooh.
that thing Snoop. She gonna leave y'all hanging.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have to wait till next Tuesday.
Wait till next Tuesday. Yes, you will have to wait. 'Cause the Queen's got things to do. Everybody's trying to get ready, trying to prepare for this weekend.
Yes, I'm super excited. We have our leadership conference coming up this weekend. We're gonna be flying down to Miami. Some of us gonna be driving trains, planes, and automobiles
That
on our
part.
way to Miami. Yep.
Yes.
This weekend. Yep. So we're going to be doing a Leadership to Legacy conference with our amazing company that we're partnered with, Nove, where our CEO, our COO, Chief Marketing Officer, corporate team, and other affiliates and business owners through Nove are going to get together, and we're just going to do a whole weekend of learning and celebrating. So getting the mind ready, taking
Yeah.
all these great gems that's going to be dropped this weekend.
Yes, honey. Ready for the gyms for the weekend.
Yes. Who's on the live this morning that's going to the yacht party this weekend, to the Leadership to Legacy this weekend? Y'all got y'all all white outfits?
Yes, yes.
Are you all ready for this weekend?
Yes. Are you ready for the weekend? Has anybody had any issues with the white? If we didn't need it, it would be in abundance everywhere. But the fact that we need it is so hard to find.
Yes. And we have a training conference all weekend, but the company snuck in, just a celebration in
Little
there to break
something.
up all the training, to give us a little rest, a little break in there. So we're doing a yacht party on one of those evenings, and they decided to do an all white theme. And you would think it would not be that hard to find all white. But honestly, I don't understand it. So right now I'm doing the Winnie the Pooh dance because I have a white top but no bottoms. So we're
All tops, no bottoms.
all top, no bottom. I have no pants, no shorts, nothing. So I got a white top. That's as far as we get. So I'll be going out sometime this week and trying to do last minute dash to find me some white pants. How did Mr.
I know that's right.
Shabazz
Yeah.
get ready before me? He has his all white outfit together. I'm trying to figure it out.
Men, they can always get their stuff together so quickly. But women, we comparing fabrics and colors and everything.
Yeah, because why is there so many different shades of white? I don't understand.
Yeah,
White to be white.
I was very disgusted because I did. I got a pair of pants and a shirt, and they're two different shades of white. I thought white was white and cream was cream, or eggshell was eggshell. White.
It's too much. It's making my brain hurt. Nita said Amazon.
Yes.
I tried Amazon, Nita. I need to literally come back to the States just so I can get the Amazon that you all get because Amazon here is definitely different.
Is
Amazon is not the
it?
same.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I am lacking here with the
Hey,
Amazon.
for the win.
I should have gone on like Sheen or Micah's or some of the other clothing brand sites probably a
Hmm.
couple months ago and started ordering. But yeah, no, I did not do that because I was like, I can just go. It's white. I can go find something white. No.
It's all right. It's gonna be okay. Well,
Yes. Kiera, I'm jealous. Kiera says, yeah, she's ready. She has her outfit.
look, she ready. I know that's
Kiera
right.
prepares. She probably had her outfit like 3 months ago.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes. Well, we just want to thank everyone again for tuning in to our live. If you do end up having some questions about the rent to own programs, definitely let us know. You can message us directly or drop your questions in the chat here. We always come back and we check around and we'll reach out to you to see how we can help. We definitely have some programs that can help you get started, whether it's our MyNove dispute software that can help guide you step by step on how to restore your own credit. We do have a partnership through Credit Likes, where we have licensed credit repair specialists that will do all the heavy lifting for you to get you back on track credit wise. And then we have savings plans, right? That's going to help you start saving
Yes.
towards those down payments that you need. Because even with the rent to own programs, some of them require that you have at least 1 to
Down.
3% of the down payment, right? Of the purchase price.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you can't go in with no money. Unfortunately, in a lot of these cases, you have to have something, whether it's going to be paying for an appraisal, paying for an inspection, which is very key when it comes to this as well. You need to have some type of savings so we can help you get on track with either of those options. So thank you
Yes,
all
ma'am.
again for tuning in. Yep.
Yeah. Don't forget to
And
like, follow, and share, and subscribe
yes,
to our YouTube channel, Tips and Tea Live.
yes. Sia's over there on Tips and Tea Live on YouTube working her magic. So she's doing some updates.
Hey.
Shout out to the queen and her artistry there.
No, we're gonna give that back to the Queen Teleboo.
Mm-mm. She got some
Hey,
artwork coming up for y'all. Y'all gonna see it on YouTube.
we gonna see.
All right. So same time next week, everybody. We'll see you on Tips and Tea. We'll be doing a recap of our leadership
Yes.
conference. So tune in. Definitely tune in.
Don't want to miss it. Catch you next